We are live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. I hope everybody found us okay. Welcome to book two of The Hunter. Dun, dun, dun. And I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves because I never do that. I always forget to let people introduce themselves. So I'll let Natasha take it away.
Hello.
I'm Natasha. I am Book Diva 401 on Instagram. Do not have a YouTube, so you get to see my face here on Carrie's channel. Alicia?
I'm Alicia_Reads. I do not have a YouTube either because I feel like it would be a lot of work. And people talk about editing and what a pain in the tush it is. So I just jump on other people's and chat about books. And I cannot discuss this book enough. I am going to make book babies with Christopher Argent. He is now my husband. And I will trade in my husband for this guy right now. But we're also so excited to have with us the one and only Christy Reads a Lot.
Yay!
Straight from Alaska. So is it all sunny there now or all dark?
Dark and getting into more sunlight or daylight.
So like 20 hours a day?
Yeah, like the sun, like it's only 4 o'clock here for me and the sun's starting to set. So, and it doesn't rise until about like 10 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
And now we're like going up. We're getting like minutes of daylight every day now since the winter solstice. So now we're going like up. So it was worse.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So is that how you can read so much? Because it's do you feel like your days and nights are kind of mixed up or?
Not really.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, I'm just a night owl in general. So I'm always up reading late.
That's awesome. So interesting to me.
Yeah. And hi, everybody. This is so fun.
It's probably different being on this side instead of being on the side where you're like typing comments and stuff.
I know. Now I'm like trying to read the comments.
Right. It's like in that comment that just went by.
Yeah.
No pressure though.
No pressure. We're so happy to have you. It's so funny because I do DM a lot of you in the comments and it's so nice to actually get to talk to somebody I talk to all the time. So I'm so happy to have you, Christy. I'm like, woo, it's gonna be exciting.
I know, I'm excited. I've never been on a live, so like, bear with me.
Oh, you'll do great.
Yeah, you'll do good.
I always have a lot to say, so I'll try to hold back. I can just keep going.
Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
Do not hold back.
No, do not hold back. No, do not hold back. It's, everyone can have an opinion. So,
congrats on the nuptials.
That we're going to so we will. Congrats on the nuptials. Yes. Yes. Man.
So yeah, if you guys want to find any of these lovely ladies, they are in the description box below. I suggest you follow each and every one of them, but let's get to it, guys. Should we start with ratings? Ratings on this wonderful, fabulous book.
I feel like we're all going to have the same one. And I feel like if there's like different. Oh, no, you didn't like it?
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Just might not be on the same level.
Okay. Just on the session level. Okay. All right, Natasha.
Carrie, you want to go first?
Well, I'm this one. I'm a 5 stars. Me and what are they? Scarred Hero. We're like 2 peas.
Okay. I gave it a 4.75.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
But on Goodreads, it's a 5. The only reason I gave it a 4.75 is because, damn it, I wasn't ready to feel the things that I felt in the fucking prologue of these books that I'm like in tears. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, the feeling.
I mean, literally, you just ripped in and pulled my heart out and like gave it to your pit bull, and I'm like, oh, God. I just can't. I wasn't ready to feel those emotions, so that's all. It's just completely a selfish, thing. Rating.
Right.
But I
Okay.
loved it.
I really thought you were gonna say like I hated it. It was a 2, and I was gonna have to like start crying. Yeah, like you really you stressed me out there for a minute, Natasha. For real.
Right. They were expecting the worst right there. They were
I
scared.
know. You're expecting the worst. You can't do that to us. I obviously gave it a 5. I like the scarred tortured hero is my jam. The murderer was like creepy AF, and like I was here for it. He's like ripping out wombs, and I was like,
Right.
yes, like I was here for a lot of it. But what did you think, Christy?
It's a 5, like 5.
Period.
Like, yeah. The damaged, tortured heroes are like my thing, and then the prologue and getting me like all the emotional feels. Like to me, that's like 5 already. So just like give me more.
I feel like we need to like give the prologue its own few minutes here because like
Right.
everyone's like
Yeah.
talking about how amazing the prologue is, and like so I like my post-it note, because I'm post-it noting things because Tiffany made me feel like I needed to. Mine just says like he's 11, and if he's 11, like going through like what he's seeing and what is happening, like how can those things not affect who you are and change who you are as a person later? And then to not only go through like what he sees with his mother, but then to have to continue to live in the prison and like see the people. I just, you know, it broke my heart. And then when they're singing, when she sings to him. So one of my questions for Kerrigan when we have Kerrigan back on is like, are these real songs or did she like come up with them? Because in The Highwayman, he had that the poem from the wedding. And now we've got him singing this thing. Are these like Celtic songs she's coming up with, or are these like ones that she actually knows? So that's my question. What did y'all think, besides the fact that it gutted us?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, like
I completely agree with you. I mean, just hearing the touching part of him coming home and he's wet and his mother, just cooking, and then them having this intense bonding moment. That right there was the first crack in the heart. And him having to actually witness her death and continue to be in prison with the people who murdered his mother after violating her in front of him. I'm like,
right.
And then I think it goes on in the story when he reveals that while he was in the prison, he was violated as well.
Right.
And I'm just like, this poor child. It's different when, in my mind, when it's a child, I go immediately into mommy mode, and I'm sitting here with my book and a hatchet, and I want to, I want to kick somebody's ass while I'm reading this book. But I mean, I was crying. I was in tears reading this because it was the way that she writes. It made me feel like I was sitting right there on the prison floor next to him while he was witnessing his mother being traumatized and murdered. I was right there on the prison floor with him, on that cold ass floor. And I just wanted to curl up with him and hold him.
Right.
So I actually had to put the book down for a couple hours after the prologue before I moved on. It was a lot.
Yeah. And before we get any further on the prologue, guys, as soon as I found out what was in the prologue, I tried to let you guys know in the Discord because I feel like really bad. I read it. I was like, oh no, because I didn't I don't know why I don't remember these facts because they're really important facts. But when I went into it, I knew there was something, but I didn't realize it just nabbed me right at the beginning. So if I ever do find things like that, I will try to stick it in the Discord for you guys so you're not blindsided. So sorry about the late notice.
Christy has read our next book. So as we get towards the end of tonight's chat, we'll make sure Christy talks about any trigger warnings so then we can put them in the Discord because I haven't read The Highlander, and I don't think Natasha has, and I don't know if Carrie has. Well, Carrie probably wouldn't remember. So.
Yeah, no, I would not remember. Like, I have read it, but do I remember anything about it? No. I'm sorry. It's like one of those things, my memory, it's not so hot like it used to be.
I would say just the entire series in general and Kerrigan's writing in general, just trigger warnings. Like there's content warning, it gets dark, it's violent, like all of them, like going forward, like just blanket,
Okay.
Especially,
That's
yeah.
good to
Well,
know.
we'll talk about the next one at the end, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Christy, what did you think about the prologue?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking, and like it's not even that he's 11 and like in prison, like he was born there, like that's all he's known. It was just really hard, and yeah, it was just really sad. Like I was crying, and like multiple times in the book, like when more is brought up about his past, like it's hard to read, and but it totally, you know, sets his boundaries, like his rules he comes up with later, like it's totally his character's like starting point. Hi, Harriet.
I think it was brilliant how she set that prologue because it was heart-wrenching, but it really explained a lot about the hero. Like, if you didn't have that prologue of how scarred he was, I think we would be looking at a whole different hero at this point. And it explained a lot as you were going on to how his emotions were just shut off. He just didn't have them because otherwise he wouldn't survive if he did.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And he does have like his I don't kill children, which, you know, obviously if he did, it would be a very different book and we'd all be like, Kerrigan, uncool. But I do feel like so much of what he went through shaped what it is. And there's like a one part that I wrote down, I think I put it in my review, where it was like he had choices to either he lived despite it all, he lived. And in order to do so, he'd given up his life to the spilling of blood, at first for vengeance, then for survival, and finally for profit. Like, this was how he had to. I am sure he didn't have like a career. You know, it's not like prison in the 1800s was like, you get to learn how to make a license plate.
Nope.
Like, it's like you age out and you're like, good luck.
Yeah.
Like if they wanted food or the firewood, like it was just like the things his mom had to do to get, you know, anything for them. Like it was hard.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he had no other skill set. And granted, it's the skill set is not good. Like,
right. But like that's all he's known, you know?
Like, yeah.
It was his survival mechanism.
Yeah.
It was how he survived through not only through jail, but through life. Like it was like his one skill. Because once he left out of jail, he was like, I don't have any skill sets. This is what I do, you know? So it's really interesting.
What did everyone think of Millie?
So
okay.
So she's honestly not my favorite. Like I like that. Like I feel like coming off of Farrah, like from the first book, and she was stronger. I felt like to Dorian, like they kind of balance each other. Where Millie, like I love that she's an actress and she's Polish and she's the single mom thing. Like I love all that about her, but I just feel like it was Argent's story and she was just kind of there,
a side character.
Yeah, I do. I feel like with Farrah, we had so much more like backstory. Like I loved Farrah for like the fact that she saved him as a boy and this and here. I liked Millie because like she is helping Jacob. She has taken him in. Obviously, we are assuming everyone has read the book, so you all know that Jacob is not her actual child, but that she has like taken him in, and then the patience that she has, with Argent, like how she's like, I'm going to make this work, and when he is upset after they, have the sexy time, she goes to him and is like, we're going to talk about this and we're going to make this go. And I did like her. I did not feel as emotionally connected to her as I did with
I liked Millie because this is why. She's like, I may not have birthed this kid, but he is my son. Like for me, like that spoke to me a little more. Like, I don't care who you are not getting between me and my son because I will sacrifice myself for my child. Like I like that element to her. But it was really I could see where people don't like her as much as Farrah. I could see that, but I did like her elements to her. I think I wouldn't know who to put with the hero because he was so scarred. Like if you put him too soft, like where would you know what I mean? It's like it needed that happy medium, which I think she kind of tagged.
I mean, we're putting him with Felicia, right?
Oh, me, yes.
Right.
No, with me. Like,
He's not a soft character.
I don't know if that would have helped him or
her.
not. He would have lived in a world of darkness. It wouldn't have been half darkness, but
Yeah. I would have, yeah. I thought there was a little bit of strangling in there, and I was like, ooh, I could be here for this. So yeah,
well, he did do a little something like that, didn't he? A little bit. Yep.
Tug, yeah. Yeah.
I liked Millie, but like Alicia said, I just wasn't really. I didn't even get connected with her until the part came out about Jacob and how she came to be taking care of him. That was when I was like, oh, you do have an integral part. Not that she didn't, but I just wasn't really connected with her in the book until we started getting more of that backstory.
Right.
So,
like she was secretive, like she's hiding secrets and you're not sure exactly what they were, but it was like she couldn't put it all out there. So yeah, I could see where that you're like, we get all his backstory in the beginning, and then it's like, okay, but we get none of hers almost like, and then it like switches. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting how she played that.
Right. I did. And I like Jen's comment that we really don't see a lot of like adoption like that in historical romance, you know? And Jacob really, I think, did feel like she was his mother, like the way she called her mom. And
so were you guys surprised by that little twist?
It was a good twist.
I didn't. I expected it. Like I kind of thought he wasn't his or he wasn't hers. Like I didn't know if it was through like a friend, like an adoption, or if she had like found him, or if he was her brother. Like I kind of thought maybe that he's her brother and she's passing him off as like her son, because
that was my first thought, that it was her brother.
Right. Yeah. Here's one thing I didn't expect. Her to be a virgin. Like, I know that it's like, cause she had a son, like, or, you know, I mean, I just didn't expect her to give her virginity up so easily with her being a virgin and not being timid about it. I don't know. Like for me, it was just kind of like, she did. And it was, and this was the first time I read it. I'm trying to think thoughts back when I first read it to when thoughts I read it now.
So here's my twisted little mind. I like the fact that she was a virgin and didn't tell him.
Me too.
I like that part. I was like, go ahead, bitch, you get yours. Don't tell him.
Yeah, I did like that. And I do feel like someone else just mentioned that, you know, they don't really like have a ton of sex until more towards the end-ish, not I wouldn't say end-ish, but like
second half of the book.
Yeah, like the second half of the book is like, which by the way, I was very happy that when Natasha picked the end of this chapter, it was not kind of like a cliffhanger. I was like, thank God. But yeah, I felt like that too with the Highwayman. There wasn't a ton at the beginning-ish either. It's a lot more like emotion and feeling, and then the sexy times towards the end. And again, we had like a water scene. Like with Farrah, we had the tub, and with Millie, we had her in like the bathing house.
Right.
I'm like, girl, Kerrigan, you like a tub. Like, yeah, she's got something with the water. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm not mad, but I was like, oh, and now he's in the water with you? Oh.
Yeah, it was, there was some good, I mean, she wrote some really intriguing scenes, like the scenes that you could really like sink your teeth into and like think about them, you know, like there's some things I feel like I really enjoyed. Sorry, but yeah.
Yes, Tiffany, drip, drip.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Like, I'm not mad at it. And I did think it was funny. Someone else said, like, Stephanie Crawford just said, I don't think it would matter. Like, yeah, like, she probably thought, like, what does it matter? He's had sex with other people. He's, you know, gone to the brothel. Like, what does it matter? Like, if I'm a virgin or not, you know?
You know what I liked about the season 2, you guys? That he knew the people protecting her. So he was just like, here's some money and disappear, because you know if you challenge me, you're gonna die. So like you can just scurry yourself away, and he just lets himself in. I loved that scene because it's like the whole point of her like secret service was like null and void, I guess, you know?
Yeah. Like, I know them better than you. Yeah.
Right. Like, they're not going to challenge me because I'm an assassin. So,
I did love that very protective layer, where he's instantly, now they're mine. I'm protecting them. I'm watching over them. And it wasn't just her, it was Jacob too. They belong to me. I like that protective trope. So
what did you guys think of Christopher's butler?
I liked him, Walton. Yeah.
I thought he was like a little comic relief. He was kind of like,
I loved the little bit where it was like that he taught Argent how to dance. Like when she was like, "How'd you learn how to dance?" Like, I had Walton teach me. Like,
yeah, because like he didn't think.
I love that.
Like, yeah. So, also, Tiffany was like, I like the scenes between him and Blackwell. Yes. Yep. Oh my goodness. Because if they ever went to blows, I'd really want to know who would win between that. Because I feel like they're both, like the way I'm picturing them in my mind, they're equally matched. So it's kind of like, who would win? Not sure. Like,
right.
I don't know.
But I loved all the Dorian and Farrah from the first book in this book. Like all their moments, they were just
I love
and
that.
Dorian was being like so funny and like they're great.
Farrah was trying to help Millie, trying to kind of like guide her and talk to her. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Okay, so what did you think about her son? Is Jacob? I'm sorry, I messed up. Yeah, carrying the knife to go find his mother, and then like all these things happen and then she gets taken. I mean, what do you guys think of that scene? Like where then she ended up getting taken by the psychotic killer, and then it's like, what do you
like? I honestly thought something was going to happen to Jacob, like my first read, and I was like, please don't do that. Like, so I was glad he was safe and that it was like Millie, like obviously not, didn't want it to happen to her, but like I'm glad it was her instead of Jacob that they took. So, but yeah, him wanting to protect her and like Jacob with Argent too, like just trying to, like their connection of both being, the single moms and like trying to protect them. Like it was perfect. Like, yeah.
I liked how he like took Jacob in as like part of the package deal, right? He's like, if I'm gonna love Millie, I'm gonna love you. Right. And then when like Millie's taken and Jacob says like, oh, it'll be okay because you're here.
Yeah.
Like,
so sweet.
Oh,
yeah. So sweet. And then he ran over to Argent and was like, save my mom. I know you're gonna save my mom. And
I know.
So cute.
I mean, what can you say? You can't say, well, no, I'm not, or let's just see what happens. You can't respond that way. I mean, obviously.
Right.
I thought that was precious.
Yeah.
What did you all expect that it was like the wife at the end?
No.
That was a good twist.
I didn't at least. I didn't expect it.
I did not expect that either.
I should have. She dropped the carrot. I should have, because back when it was being revealed that supposedly her friend was going to leave, he told her he was going to leave his wife for her. I should have known that character wouldn't have just not existed, because I mean, this is Kerrigan Byrne we're talking about. Kerrigan's going to come back. So I like the twist.
Me too. I thought it was going to be his brother, because let's be honest, like the first thing you do is wipe out all the lines, because it's like, if I wipe out all you guys, I'm going to inherit the dukedom or whatever, the earldom or whatever. So I thought he was wiping out all the kids, the heiresses, everything, so he could take over, and it didn't really go that way.
Yeah. What did you think, Christy?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either. Like, you're just following the story that she's planting of, the dad guy being evil, so I just assume I'm going with the ride,
Yeah.
But it's surprising, and it was like very disturbing.
At the same time. Yeah.
Well, the fact that she had like taken these other kids too. That was
right.
Oh, so I have a bone to pick about this one. So we can come back to my bone to pick in a little while, because I do have a bone. I'm writing it down. Here is my bone to pick, and we will pick it later. But I feel like we have things in the middle that we should talk about. What do y'all think?
Yeah, let's just, wherever you guys want to go. And if you guys have questions in the comments of like things you guys want to talk about, throw them down there. Because honestly, like we're just winging it. So if there's things you guys like, oh, this scene was really good, throw it in the comments.
Yeah. And Oh yeah, we're totally. I thought we would see. Oh, okay. We saw Morley, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Morley was like
in the beginning and at the end.
I was interested in how he came into this because, like, I think he has a book later on that I have not obviously read yet, but I'm interested because it was showing like how Morley may not be this straight-laced detective. He was like, you do what you need to do,
Right.
and I'll kind of like turn the blind eye.
Well, and he offered him the job at the end.
Yeah.
He did. He gave him the job, which that's part of my bone to pick.
Oh.
So we'll get back to that.
That's later.
I do want to talk about Tori's, like when Christopher thought Argent thought he was dreaming,
Right.
and they get like the sexy time.
Right.
It was so like emotional the way he's like, in my dreams, this is what would happen. It could never happen in real life.
Yeah. That was really sad.
Oh my God.
That was sad.
You don't know like what true happiness is.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what was, do you guys know, like, I don't know because my screen just froze, but I don't know if you guys mentioned this of when he was sleeping in the closet. And like that was his little sanctuary because he was so used to jail cell. Like this was his place. And she's like, you're not taking me in there. Right. And it just broke my heart for him because he wasn't used to a bedroom. And like, yeah.
And he had this big house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. He just had his little mattress on the floor in the closet.
Right. And she's like, you're not taking me like a savage, but for him, like that was where he was comfortable. That's where
and
his
he thought that was okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I only have one thing to say to that. Damn it, Kerrigan.
See? Yes. And then, but like the self-loathing he felt like after they had the sex, and he was like, you know, I did to her, I held her down, I did to her what people did to my mother, that he couldn't differentiate the two in his head.
Right.
I was like, we need to get you some sexual like counseling. I mean,
he couldn't fathom that she wanted that.
You know. Yeah, like he couldn't like recognize that this is okay. Like this doesn't always have to be like from behind without that, you know? And it just I don't know.
But you know what? When he ended up taking her like that, you understood it because that's what he was trained to do. Like that's where his mind was at. So like for me, I was thinking about this. If Kerrigan would have changed it, like he would have got a change of heart in like the 1 second before he took her, I would have been like, that would have like not. I felt like the way she played it out was the way it should have been because for him, he'd been trained his whole life to treat things at an arm's distance. So I understand why it went that way. Can we talk about the deal? I really like the deal he made with her. And then, then there was this line where the guy, I don't know who he was talking to, maybe like the owner of like, what was it? The owner of the opera place or whatever. He's like, that must cost you quite a pound of flesh. And then he said he didn't have the weight quite right, but he definitely guessed the right currency. I mean, sorry, I just think like the lines she put in there were so funny. Like, I'm just like, sorry, I was just like.
I feel like there's a good mix of humor in the book too, like even though it's really dark. And so it's nice to have those little like lighthearted moments.
Yes, Dorian, I thought was a very like lighthearted, like I'm gonna tease her ass about like how you're going for this woman. And I thought that was like a good balance to how like the fact that he's a fucking murderer. Like like, and Kerrigan has said like while she was, because like, you know, we're friends with Kerrigan, so we can call her that like she was watching like Dexter while she was like writing this. And you can see like that Christopher Argent is like a kind of a murderer with a heart. Like he's like, well, I murdered these people, but like I murdered the people who like tortured my mother. And yes, I may have murdered other people, but I did it like because we needed money. And he wasn't like sugarcoating it. He was like, yeah, I did this. It was wrong.
Right.
But it is
survival.
And and like I'm also gonna try to be better. I understand like people
like he did good with his skills that are bad. Like, he went after all the people who hurt his mom in prison and like, took them out. Like he's doing kind of good with like his, assassin skills. Like he's not just out there, like he's not Jack the Ripper style, like just out there going wild. Like he has some set things that he's sticking to.
Right. And I like going back to one of the comments, I really did like that scene about Millie not a morning person and how Jacob was like, you woke her before 9, right?
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
But Argent was just so like, what do you mean you're not getting it? It's time to get up. He couldn't understand sleeping in, and she's threatening his life, and Jacob's just like, oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? I thought it was cute. That's one of those moments where that humor kind of diffused some of the heaviness that you just got done reading. So
Charles.
Hey,
Charles.
Charles.
They have like love. Like serious or
I don't know.
The love hate is for real with Charles and Carrie.
Right. But okay, so if you're out here, Jen, put a little ghost, okay? But Jen made a good point. It was back, I'm trying to remember the exact scene because my memory's shoddy. But I liked when Argent was talking to the main heroine and was like, I like that you work. He was almost like a philanthropist. Okay, I can't even say the word right now, but he supported women working. Like it didn't matter what they did. It didn't matter if they were sold their bodies, whatever what it was to get food on the table. He was supportive of that. And I thought as a hero, like, wow, like he was almost like a feminist. Like I would think like he was very forward thinking. And
that's very progressive. Yeah.
So Jen, if you're out there, put a ghost.
Yeah. Like I feel like he was super progressive when he was like, oh, my mom was a prostitute. And it's like, okay, you can like, yeah. I mean, there's so many things I love about him, but that was
all right. At least tell us about your bone. I can't stand it anymore. I need to know about this bone.
Okay. Here's the bone. It just fucking ends. It's just like, okay. And now he laughs. Do they have kids? Do they move on? Like, does he stop being a murderer? Like, does Jacob go to college and then marry and have other kids? Like, what happened?
Well, I mean, it's a series, so,
like, Sarah,
right. We will see. I feel like that's what's great is that we will see our people again. Like maybe we'll see them tomorrow or the next book or the next book. We will see them again.
Sarah and Dorian had like 10 years down the road and there's kids. And, like I felt like there was like this. And then here I'm like, wait a minute. What? So what?
So you should just know his story maybe isn't over.
Yeah, like, so she got shot and now she's okay, and like he laughed.
So here's the sorry, go ahead, Alicia.
I was so
twist, kind of like.
Thank you for Melissa for like putting my mind at ease. But like, dude, I needed like 3 more pages. I needed like
right.
There is more coming in the rest of the series. I needed like 3 more pages of like
closure.
Them having like something. I'm like, oh my God. But at the end, when he like professed his love for her, I think someone in the comments just said it's like Shonda Rhimes worthy of like profession. And I'm like,
yeah.
Like, I wanted like that grovel from him. Like, I mean, I don't think he needed to because, I love him.
So what do you have to grovel over?
Yeah, he's perfection in every way. I wanted that for her, I think. Like she had sacrificed so much for Jacob. Like, and I wanted her to have somebody, even though she wasn't like my favorite person. Oh no. Okay, so we're all gonna be quiet so that Christy can
no pressure.
Well, I can't say I don't want to spoil things,
Well,
I can talk about a lot of stuff.
What can you say that isn't spoilery? Like, what are we in for? Because I can't remember. So good luck with me.
Well, I mean, somebody had mentioned in the Discord, they were saying that they didn't know if they'd have time for this book and if they could go to the next book. And they're asking, like, do we meet the next couple? So we've, the next couple is in this book, like the heroine we've met, and the hero has been mentioned. Like, we're going to go, yeah.
Oh.
And somebody else mentioned, like, they didn't know if they were going to read book 7 since it's only on Amazon. I think it was Jody, and she thought it was a new series. So it is. It's both part of both series. So it's going to be Morley's story, and you kind of have to read it if you want to finish out this series. But it does start a new series.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and we're planning on going through 7. So like through March 6th will be like that is the 7th.
Right.
Book. So
she said she might skip it. So I just want to let her know, like, it's still part of the series and another series.
Skip it. Don't skip it.
If you already read 6, girl, don't skip it. Don't. Yeah. What are you gonna like? No. Keep going.
Keep going with that. Like, keep rolling. Because Kerrigan, what Kerrigan Byrne book is bad. Like, literally, it's going to be at least a 4 stars. So for me, they're all 5 stars. But let's be real here. Like, yeah. Just to let you guys know, the comments are moving kind of fast for me. So if I missed a comment in between and it was like a question comment, please put it back in there so I can see it again. Like, it just went a little too fast for me. But yeah, if I missed a question you want answered, please throw it back in there.
Charles said, can you move that Sarah J. Maas book?
Those are the comments that Carrie's missing.
That's the one she's missing.
No,
she's asking on that.
This one up here for him. It's an inside joke, and he knows it.
Charles asking me about Evangeline Anderson. I just downloaded her other book, the Evangeline Anderson, which is totally okay. We need to fix the hunter. I downloaded the one about the merged penises yesterday from Teresa, but I have not read the other one, but I will be writing it down currently.
So I do want to mention this one thing. I'm really happy that it kind of like introduced a character to the 3rd book. Like, this book kind of introduced the Highlander as Blackwell's brother. So I'm kind of like really excited because they're brothers. Like, and then I don't remember a lot. So if I'm saying stuff, the odds are I don't remember the 3rd book very well. So I have no idea what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, but Christy is like a vault. So
somebody asked if book 3 is as big as this one. So it's not. Like, it's a little shorter.
356, yeah.
I think it's a little shorter.
So this is Damien Dorian's brother.
The Demon Highlander, yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. And this is from their father that would like sleep around, but they're all considered like bastards. I don't know how else to say it. Like non-legit sons, like.
Right. So so like the Scottish laird guy, the Mackenzies, and I'm trying to remember like what we already know.
Oh no, yeah.
But
that's a good question, Olivia. Who would you cast as Millie and Argent in a movie? Alicia, who would play your husband?
Okay, let me think for a minute. He has to be like buff and big.
Anybody have any ideas for this too? Throw them in the comments, because at the end of the day, I'm thinking the girl has to have this like opera type quality to her. I almost see her on the stage, but kind of fierce.
No, Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz would be my Millie. And then if I was gonna go with an Argent, it would probably be Chris Evans, or Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
he was very descriptive on the chest hair, right? That's the book that I read this week. Oh my god, I've read like 4 books this week. I suck. When she was talking about his chest hair, it was a different book.
Now, see, when I think of Christopher Argent, I'm thinking of
that was the Wallflower book. Damn it, Christy!
I think of the killing aspect and the fact that he's the targeted murderer. I think of Liam Neeson. because he's such a
Yeah.
Right, maybe a little bit younger. I don't know.
yeah.
Like that intensity that he has like in Taken.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could
exactly.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Eric from True Blood,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes,
Really
she is.
Yes.
I'm all about those curves. Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm so mad at myself that I did not see when he posted his book on Twitter, like, or on Instagram. Which one did he post? Like, he posted a naked picture of himself on Instagram by like accident, and then like
Never heard of this.
Yes, and I did not see it. Oh, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
How do you post a
Yes.
naked picture by accident? What I wanted? Do you like click and
It was accidental.
post? How do you
Look
do
at the size
that?
of that accidental.
Multiple
Accidental PR.
Yeah. But I do think Tom Hardy would be really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Zachary Quinto. I don't know if I could do him. He is creepy. I think I would do him as like the creepy murderer guy.
Right.
Like he could play a creeper. Like
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I could see him leaving like some wounds and body parts.
So
I
here's
think Vin Diesel would be a good Christopher Argent.
right.
Yeah.
He's buff enough, and I'm thinking back to when he was in that movie Triple X. So
wait a minute. Tiffany saw this. Okay, wait a minute. So did Brooklyn. Okay. What?
Yeah.
Did anyone else take a picture? Did anyone take a screenshot? Come on. All right, people. I agree. Tom Hardy would be a good one. He would, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Yes, Kim. Kim, like, is in Kim Kardashian, Kim?
No, I think
she's agreeing with him in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Like,
I was gonna say, no.
Kim, like, sorry, I'm still on like, woo, I'm still out there.
Guys, Argent, Cillian Murphy is like creepy AF. Like, I mean, creepy. He's a creepy creeper McCreeperton right there. Like, he has dead eyes, but he doesn't have the body that would do it for me.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, I agree. I have a question for Christy. Because you read everything and everything. Of these 7 books, which one is your favorite?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's tough. So I don't know, because I love them. Well, I don't love them all, but like I really, really, really like 6.
Ooh.
Okay.
Dragon tattoo one?
Yeah, the Duke with the Dragon tattoo. Mm-hmm. Like I love 1 as well, and I love 6.
Tattoo one.
But 3 is up there too. 3 is up there.
Okay. Okay. And so do you feel, as we're going through some of these, that they're going to stay, I feel like they're going to stay as dark, but is there the level of violence that's still there? Because I know that was something that we talked about a little bit in the Discord, was the amount of like violence.
It's going to stay violent. This one in particular starts really rough. The first prologue and chapter. Like it's like, I don't need trigger warnings, but like this one was a kind of a lot to read.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not just the prologue, it's the first chapter, which, yeah.
Okay.
That's good to know. Yeah, because I have to admit, like, we're coming off the Julia Quinn series, which is kind of a little fluffy. It's very fluffy. And we dive into the Kerrigan Byrne series, which is more dark. And the first one kind of introduced you to darkness, but then the second one hammered it home. So if you guys are more of the light and fluffy type of reader, these are dark romances, just to throw it out there. So you guys aren't blindsided, because I feel bad, because I know it's different, definitely different than Julia Quinn. So just to give you that difference. Just out of curiosity, because I know we were gushing about this book so much, but for the people who rated 3 or 3.5 stars, I'd really like to know why it didn't work for you, because we are here for everybody. Like, I love Kerrigan Byrne. I feel like she can do no wrong, but sometimes I can be blindsided because I love an author so much. So feel free to put it in the comments below, like maybe what didn't work for you, and someone else could agree with that. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and like, you know, I like the dark, and I don't necessarily need trigger warnings. Like, I'm okay going into a book totally blind, and then there's like, you know, a rape and stuff. So, but if you are more cautious of that, I think these are These are definitely not for the faint of heart. You don't know yet. No. See, Carrie is like a closet dark romancer.
I think people get the misconception of me.
Read it.
I could read dark because I could read violence. Like I can read violence. That doesn't bother me as much as sexual assault. I can't read that. Like any sort of sexual assault or violence or anything like that. These books skin over it. Like they say the characters got sexual assaulted, but you don't actually have to physically do the act. Okay. That one I'll have to be careful with. But it's one of those things like this one where it's in the first couple of chapters. I had a really hard time with this. Like this was something I had a very hard time with. So if you're like me, be careful rolling into this one. But I do like dark romance. Like I like it because I like my scarred heroes. Like I like any scarred, like where they have to overcome something. I'm down for that.
So if I have a question for anyone who's listening on audio, like, because I am not listening to these on audio. How is the audio versus like the actual book? Are y'all liking the audio, or are you?
So I've been doing the audios because this is like my reread. So, and I'm new to audio, so like bear with me. And like I think they're great. So it's the male narrator, and I've liked it. Like, but I know some people had mentioned they wanted like a female voice mixed in there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
When I listened to The Highwayman on audio, I just felt like I wasn't getting that total experience. So halfway through, I stopped the audio and read the book because it was just, for some reason, that narrator, it was easy for me to be distracted from.
Right.
So, and I didn't want to miss anything in these books. So, and I'm glad that I'm actually physically reading it now.
Yeah.
I say I'm glad, but I'm not. I don't want to be there on the prison floor, but I am. I'm right there, holding little Christopher. He's so
Charles, if you're out there, I know you're the king of audiobooks. So give us your take on what you thought of these audiobooks, because I know you listen to a ton.
Okay, so 3. So Sarah says she didn't feel the connection. It was just fine. Just didn't love it. And the side characters. I do think her side characters are fantastic. Like when you look at the other book where you've had the band of people that he has taken on, and then here we've got Welton, and I do like her side characters, but I get it that this could trigger people, and like if you have problems with that, like don't do it. But Charles says the audio is bomb.
Oh,
okay. I'm sure Kerrigan would love that because she's talked about how hard it is to find people to
do. And that's the thing. Like, of course, anybody would love like multiple characters. And she was on a show asking us, what do you think of a cast of characters? And we were all for it. But I think she needs to because I think he's a really good guy. He has that like, he could do those accents, and I feel like that's really hard to accomplish sometimes, those English and Scottish accents.
Mm-hmm. I just finished an audiobook this morning, Richer Than Sin. I think it's by Megan March. The narrator, it was just a female, and it was so bad because she was trying to do the male voice, but it was clearly trying to be a male. Mm-hmm. It was so bad. I was like, oh my God. I just can't. You couldn't have got a guy to do I mean, it just sounded like a female trying to have a male voice. You know, I would rather for her to just maintain the same pitch because it was just, she tried to insert all of this breath that wasn't there. And I'm like, girl, do you need an inhaler? I mean, it was, the sexy time was just not inhaler at all because the girl felt like she was struggling to breathe. Because she was just trying to differentiate her voice. And I was like, I need to find out who the narrator is so I never listen to another one of hers again because it was terrible.
Right. Oh, here's Charles. He says, male narrators for romance, risky move because most romances are told from a female point of view. So that is true. Like, I feel like a lot of like historical romances, you're following the heroine instead of following the hero. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. For this series, though, it's following the guys. Like the girls are just secondary. Like I think going forward, it's the group of guys who have the connection. So I think the male narrator worked. But like I said, like The Highwayman was my first audio experience. So that it started with a guy, I was just like, okay.
And Charles asked, are you new to audio?
Yeah, so I just listened to audio like the first time this year, like this month for The Highwayman, like since it was a reread.
And what speed are you listening to audiobooks, Christine?
So I stick around 3 times speed. I can go up to 3.5.
And what app are you listening to at 3.5? Like, I don't.
It's incredible. Her and Charles can listen to him like 3.5, no problem. I'm like 2.2, like, and that to me is like I'm understanding it. You know what I mean?
I feel like we should talk about. I know that Annie you couldn't get over the fact that he's a murderer. How did everyone else kind of feel about?
Yeah, so did your opinions change like from the beginning of the book? Did you feel like he was not vindicated, but like, did you think Millie like balanced him out? Like,
right.
I mean, that's a good question, because like if you see it from the beginning and you see like, oh, he's murdering these people and he's making money on it, but then he doesn't murder her, and then he does save her, and he does try to around. Like, does that change anything for you?
Right. And can I add to that really fast, and then you guys can answer it? Is that when Roswell was like, no, Argent doesn't try to murder you. When your name is on his list, he murders you. There's no like trying 2 or 3 times. It is a death sentence. So for the fact he had to try to murder you 3 times, I thought that scene, it was awesome. It was awesome. Sorry.
No. I mean, I definitely can see both sides of it. Like, I can see like, yes, he's a murderer, and like, I don't know if I look at it differently, because like I read a lot of dark stuff and I look at it like this is a book, like as much as I joke about it, and this is like my book husband, like I joke about it, but like ultimately it is a book, and like I don't think he is, like he's not a real person, like it is a book. Like, if it was my neighbor and he was murdering people, I'd be like, oh shit, that's bad. But like he's he's in a book. So I just don't feel that like level of like, I don't like him because of that.
Right, because it can never possibly be real.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me.
It did. I do feel like he went through so much. It's not like he just woke up and was like, I'm a fucking psycho now and I murder people. Like, no, you went through some shit to like do that. Like,
he wasn't born this way. He was created from what he saw and experienced. Like,
remember what he said to Morley?
Yeah, I agree, Sarah. I am 100% anti-assassin in real life. Like, I think in real life, career path, say assassin. Like, in high school, there's no like career booth for assassin, and I keep it that way.
Well, if you're Navy SEAL, maybe I'm not sure how that goes, but yeah, like I get
Navy SEAL.
Right.
Navy SEAL is like a whole nother genre that we can talk about at a later date.
Right. But I like when Argent was talking to Morley and was like, we were good boys at one time. We were created like this. Like, I thought that in the book was so like, almost like, I don't know, it can relate to like some of our systems in real life. I'm just saying that out there, like, because I ended up visiting a juvenile detention facility, and it's really intense in there. Like, you go in there, and we did it for our psychology classes, mind you, and you are literally like they don't care who you are. They sit there and they will taunt you. We were college students, and they'll call you out like, hey girl, I like your shoes, I'm gonna get those before you go. Like, it is like intense. So, and of course this is like fiction, I get that, but like to take a little bit of that and be able to relate it to this book was really interesting. So yeah, I thought that when he said we were good boys at one time and you guys created us, it made it seem almost real. It was really, the way she wrote it was really, really good. It was just, sorry, I feel like I could write about it now.
I think we're gonna try to stick close to like our hour.
Sorry.
So, but because we know how hard these books are, specifically coming up the next two, not hard like to read, but like
Right. Hard to get.
So, hard to get. We are doing 2 ebook giveaways tonight. So you can download them on, if you are Amazon, I think internationally, what is it? Is it Bookshop? Is the ebook internationally, maybe?
Oh, I think as long as they have an email address, they can, we can email it by Amazon.
We can email, but we would probably do it through Amazon if you're in the US, but we're going to do ebooks tonight. So we would really like to give either the Highlander or the Duke, which we know are really hard to find, to 2 people who do not have them.
Yes.
So if you do not own the Highlander or the Duke, which are the 2 that are pretty hard to find right now, okay, bye, Charles. Please drop like a black heart down in the comments for Christopher Argent's Black Heart that is going to come live at my house soon. So that we
if you don't have the book, if you
don't have it, that way.
You don't have it, and you're like, oh, I really want that book on my
Kindle. I know things are so hard to find. So we're happy to we want to give the ebook because I know that those are available.
Drop the emoji, guys. Put the emoji.
Drop the emoji. Yeah, the emoji, the black heart. Look at Tiffany. Tiffany's like a black heart. Girl, we know you. She's like, I love Tiffany so much. But
Tiffany's wonderful. She is phenomenal.
I know. She's hilarious. I know that, some libraries don't have these because they are a little darker. Like my library personally does not have these.
Oh, wow.
So, no, I live in Georgia, girl. Like these Baptists ain't got nothing.
My library doesn't have them.
No, like my library, I know that like Annie's in California had all of them. So
I know, I feel like libraries shouldn't be censoring, but
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's another.
That's another topic. Conservative area, you can barely find any romance. Period. And when I say the county I live in is majority. How do I say this without being offensive? Older, conservative, white male.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Like I live in a county where, as a person of color, in order for me to actually get a job in the county, I would have to be best friends with one of the people who are actually already working in leadership here. So
that's
it's ridiculous. I've been on interviews where I'm more than qualified. And
that's really sad.
So okay, we've got them in there. And so, because, Christy is our wonderful guest tonight, do you want to scroll and pick some people? Do you want to be
let's pick 3. Let's pick 3.
Okay.
We obviously would prefer if you did ebook for the Highlander or the Duke, since those are the 2 that are super hard to find. But if you need an ebook for the Scott Who Beds His Wife and the Dragon Tattoo, we're more than happy to provide. But if Christy picks your name, you're going to DM me, and we will go from there. I'm going to write these out.
So I got Melissa Rodriguez.
Oh, whoa, you went fast. Okay, sorry. Melissa Rodriguez.
Melissa.
Okay, let me scroll again.
Annie, what
Kimberly Ferguson.
Kimberly.
Drum roll. Yeah, I got to do that.
Oh,
and
Lord.
Tiffany Neverland Pixie.
Tiffany.
Yes. Okay, so y'all, all 3 of you, Melissa Rodriguez, Kimberly Ferguson, and Tiffany, message me.
Give us your email address.
And I'll need your email, but DM me, and then you can tell me which one you either want, or we'll make it work so you can have them.
Sorry, I feel like I'm freezing over here. Just to let you guys. Oh, am I freezing? Am I still freezing? I think
I can hear you though.
We can hear you though. Yeah.
Cool. I'll just keep rolling with it. That's fine too. Just to let you guys know, next week will be same time, same place here on my channel. So if you guys, for the Highlander, so if you guys want to come and hang out with us on Saturday, what chapter? Do you guys know what chapter? Well, Christy, do you know what chapter we're past?
12?
I mean, what?
12.
Because there's 24 total. So we'll go through chapter 12.
So in the Discord on Wednesday, you can talk through chapter 12. And then on Saturday, it's a free-for-all, so you can discuss the whole book.
Right. And if there's any questions you guys ever want to throw in there, we can hey, this is from Neverland Pixie and she wanted to know. So we'll just start throwing questions that you guys have, or whoever wants to throw in a question, we'll let you know, this is from so-and-so, and then we could talk about it. So if you guys do have questions, let us know who they are or what they are and who they're from. And
easy.
So
no, it's not coming up with some of these questions.
I feel like I'm totally freezing now. I'm not kidding.
Thanks, Annie. I appreciate that.
It's not easy coming up with some of these questions at the beginning of the week when you haven't read the whole book. So if anybody has any questions, please do. What else? If anyone has any other questions for Christy, because she reads a lot.
I know. This is your time to ask Christy. She is the fountain of knowledge.
I mean, she's posting for the readathon. I'm on my 15th book, and I'm like, I'm on my second. My God.
Christy, how many books have you read so far for the month of January? What do you think?
I think 31.
Dang, girl.
It's more than a book a day.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I do. I can.
And Tiffany wants to know, what are you reading now?
Oh, I'm reading this one, Dreaming of You by Lisa Kleypas.
Oh,
Derek Craven Day coming up.
It's
been the Lisa Kleypas week for me. This is my 6th Lisa Kleypas this week. So.
Wow. I know. Natasha and I had a
okay.
We were both talking about the Secrets of a Summer Night last night, and we both were kind of wah, wah, wah.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay? I like Lisa's writing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The ending was a lot. It was climatic, and then it was just kind of not. And I was like, oh.
I love my Wallflowers. That was one of my first series, so I love them. But the first one's not my favorite.
Okay.
So, and I can see everything everybody was saying.
I can see, I want to see more. So I want to see what happens. With the next one is Lillian, and then everyone talks about how the third one is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to read them. I just haven't gotten there. Who would you recommend that's very similar to Kerrigan Byrne is another question that came up.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm thinking dark and historical. I mean, I feel not as dark. I would say Elizabeth Hoyt, some of her Maiden Lane series, and it's not as dark. So, but it has that kind of grit and the underbelly of, the city, more violent stuff. I feel that would be close, but it's not as dark.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I agree, because it's not like Eloise. If you're going to say historical, it's not like Eloisa James. It's not really
right. No.
Big name.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think
because if you're going to say historical, there's not a ton of darkish historical, but if you want other dark, Christy can tell you some dark.
My favorite reread.
Did you do your favorite reread?
No, I'm trying to think. I don't really reread as often anymore. I used to reread all the time, but lately, my TBR is just so. I'm rereading this series is one of my favorites, Victorian Rebels, and Lisa Kleypas's Wallflowers. I just reread that this week as well. So those are two favorite rereads, I guess. Favorite historicals, I like series, so. The Victorian Rebel series. I like.
Dang, Beth.
Wow, Beth.
I've read 53 books. What damn.
That's good.
I mean,
there's people who read more.
I was proud of my 20 this month, but then Christy's reading 33 and Beth is reading 53. I'm like, dang.
There's people who get a lot of reading in.
Y'all are making me feel so inadequate. Can I get you all to go ahead and petition my boss to just, let her know I need to read more during the day?
Mm-hmm. Sarah, so where does Kerrigan really
Kerrigan
fall?
yeah.
So it depends on what you're looking for dark romance. Like,
Right.
I like more of a dark romance that's not necessarily as historically based. Like, I like kind of dark romance in general. And the dark romance I read that's not necessarily Kerrigan historically based is dark AF.
Yeah.
So I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, like 10 being the darkest, I would say Kerrigan's like a 6.
Right.
She's
Yeah, I would
really
say
not
that too.
as dark.
Would
She's
you?
not as dark as some of the other things that I
Right.
read on a normal basis.
Right.
But I do see how if you're coming from a historical romance, if you're coming from a Julia Quinn and an Eloisa James, if you're coming from that,
The dare.
right. If you're coming from
Right.
to this, you're gonna be like, holy fuck, this is dark.
Yeah, you're gonna get a rude awakening. Yeah, we thought it was a good transition, but once book 2 hit, we're like, whoa.
Really, I'm sorry, and I'm so sorry you were sick, Beth. I hope you feel better. I know we don't want you to be sick, but at least you got to read 53 books. That's awesome.
Right. Let's roll out with you giving some tips for Dark Rex. Dark Rex.
No, we didn't know. Christy didn't know she was going to get put on the spot.
I know. I'm like on the spot. I don't know.
Give us one that was like, oh, this, like, we always hear Priest from Alicia. So give us
Sarah Simone, and I love that girl.
Sierra Simone can just make you feel. You need a support group with that girl. I'm telling you, I just finished reading American Prince, and I feel like I need a hug.
through the computer, like. That is why I'm so glad you're reading that with those girls, because I think if you read a Sierra Simone alone, you need like support. You need a therapy.
See, I would need 3 bottles of wine to get through one book.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try Priest. I'm totally gonna try it. I mean, as long as there's not like someone being assaulted, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see where it goes.
Shit, you all heard it here first.
I have to read that one too, actually.
Oh, good. Buddy read good. Me and you.
I like Sierra Simone. You two should buddy read it together and like see what you think differently about it.
I've read her other stuff, so I just haven't read that one. And I was gonna say I like if you like darker motorcycle type series, like I like Gianna Darling, like the Fallen Men series.
Oh, yeah.
And she has a lot of dark like other series as well for like more indie author. Lord of London Town. Yeah, I read that one. Yeah.
Oh look, you're influencing Natasha Beth American Prince. Okay, but if you didn't like it, I don't know if we can like hang it.
I don't know. Did you like it?
Oh, how
do you know that? Because I'm gonna feel bad if you. But see, I was brought into the group too, so But that book, and you can't say. Well, for me, I can't say I'm gonna stop and not read. What is it, American King?
American King. You have to read. I haven't read that one yet. So I read American Prince and American Queen in like September, like back to back, and then I needed like therapy and a break. I didn't go to American King, so I'm waiting to read American King. But you didn't like them, Christy, or you did?
The Lord of London Town. It was okay. The Tilly Cole one. Yeah, it was okay. I wanted a little bit.
Beth read them all
more, and I feel like Mafia gets hard for me because they're always young, and like I'm kind of sometimes over the young. Like make them older, you know. Like I felt like I would have liked that better.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about, like, they say an age, but I don't believe it sometimes when they act like they're in their late 20s. Like they told me they're like 17 years old.
Right.
I'm sorry. Who talked about this? Bree on her channel or something in Love and Words, like, yes, Bree in Love and Words. Her husband was reading like Six of Crows, and they did not act like they're 17, 18 years old. They acted like they're in their 20s. So whenever they tell me an age, I'm like, let's see if they really act like this age, or are they acting like they're late 20s or something? And then that's what I see them as. I don't care if they said that they were 17 years old. Right. So yeah, but I like Tilly Cole's, what was it? Her Razor, her Scarred, what do they call it? Her Scarred series. It was like her her boxing. Wait, street fighting? Was there street fighting series?
Oh, yeah. Was the guy in prison or something?
Yeah, like he was like has numbers on him and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, series.
I haven't read that one.
Mafia Men. I need Mafia Men, not boys.
Yes,
I agree, Tiffany. I don't like it when the girl is young. Like when the girl is like 16 and they're like betrothed to the older man. I mean, I like a daddy romance, don't get me wrong, but you have to be like over 18.
Well,
Right,
yeah, agreed. I don't
like any of the mafia when it's like, oh, she's like 15 and promised to this in like some kind of like Sicilian Don Corleone way. And I'm like, no.
That's a little young for sure. Absolutely.
That's creepy.
Totally agree.
All right.
Okay, well, thanks, guys.
Message Christy.
Right. Any more Rex, message Christy. And thank you guys all for hanging out with us. We had so much fun tonight. And the next is the Highlander. Oh my goodness. Woo. I'm so ready for this. And until next time, guys, have a great weekend. And we will see you next Saturday here, 5 Pacific time, 8 Eastern time. And we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.